Okay. Just for the online audience, because I know you've got an extra 30 minutes at the end with Gerrit. We're not going to finish bang on here 5. It's probably going to be about 5 past. So that 30 minutes will be will happen a little bit later. Just 2 things. Thank you very much for your fantastically vaudevillian exchange presentation. My title for your program documents is 100 Shades of Grey, because you said that they would be exciting. And since they're 100 pages, I thought that might be a nice title. And then my second question to you is this quality assessment period from May to October. How much of that is done from sun loungers beside the sea? Look, they're remaining tight-lipped there.
Not so much. Well,
you're shut in the office.
Good,
you see,
yes,
you will have no life for the summer.
No light even. I think.
No light. No. Okay, just before I invite back Jane and Federico, there was a lady. I don't know if your question got answered. There was a lady who had thrown a question out there, but that wasn't audible.
Yes, it's Ninetta.
Sorry, I can't even see. Why can't I see? Ah, you're there. Okay, so you won't wait. Okay, you're squinting at your laptop. Okay, anybody else before I invite Jane and yes, the gentleman here. I'm throwing, and then I'm going to leave it with you to throw to the next person. Oh, that was so bad. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. My name is Frank Everaerts from the Netherlands. I don't have a question so much, but I just want to add something to your extensive presentation. It is indeed very important to get in touch with the Secretariat. They're good at that, I fully support that, but you did not mention the contact points. Many countries have contact points, and let's not forget those. It's in your own country, in your own language, for support also. Just wanted to add that.
Okay, the contact points. Anybody else? Who wants to have this thing thrown at them by this gentleman? Yep, there. Oh, so easy. Doesn't count.
Sorry.
He's your plant, he's your stooge.
My name is Lawrence from Italy. My question is, you talk about a second Interreg Europe call without a budget fixed. This means that a third Interreg Europe call will not succeed or not?
What's he supposed to read into that? Something positive or negative?
No, it's a good question indeed. The answer is we don't know. The fact that the budget is not fixed doesn't mean that there will be no third call. Even it all depends on the quality of the projects that we receive in the second call. The monitoring committee has the power to decide on this, of course, and they will take a decision only after the results of the second call. This is when we will know if there will be a third call.
Okay. Do you want to throw it to there? Oh, there. A hand up. Voila. Oh, go on, throw. Go on. Oh, it doesn't count.
Thank you. I'm Christine from Austria. I have a question about the famous letter of support. I think I know now why I get it. But the question is, during the first phase, which is for 3 years lasting, I will invent my adaptation plan and whatever my action plan, what I want to have. How can I convince already at the beginning of the phase, when I need the letter of support, this institution, what I will do in the second phase with the money? I know that I will put it in a region, in our region, of course. I have my idea already, as I will be a partner. We have already a lead partner, we have already a name for the project, and so on. But it comes up in the first 3 years what we will do, and I need the letter of the support at the beginning when we have the caller. So how can I convince them what I'm doing when I don't know exactly what I'm doing, because it comes out in the first phase?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I would like to, in fact, readdress to our lead partners, to the ones that have actually done the work on the ground for the first call. So perhaps I can try and give an answer now, but it would be nice if they can also answer to your question afterwards.
Do you want to come up anyway? Because I'm going to be posing you questions in a moment. Jane and Federico, do you want to come up and take a seat? And let's see whether you Oh, you look terrified. Don't ask me to answer that question. Don't, no. She's going to hide behind the sofa. Do you have anything that you can help in answer to that question? Having been there, done that, doing that?
Yeah, done that. Well, basically because they are actually going to pay or fund the implementation phase in phase 2, they have to be interested in the phase 1 as well. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay. So where is the not matching there? Because there seems to be thought that it's the other way around there. Yeah, you can't fund 1 without 2, but the lady is saying, but if I'm not sure
Yeah,
what 2 represents.
Most of the policy instruments you are addressing have to be a structural fund policy. And since they are already funded by the regions, there's your link. If you have a policy instrument that are not financed by the structural funds, it's a bit more difficult maybe.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Did you want to say something on that, Federico?
Yeah, no, well, I think it's, I mean, if it's a priority for the region, I mean, for the managing authorities, in that case, the regional council, well, of course, it's, they want to be involved to, to contribute to the way you're gonna actually change or modify or, interact with the ERDF operational program. So I think there's a lot at stake for the managing authority. So,
Did you want to add something? Yep.
Yes, just I think what is important to say is what Federico also just said, and thanks to both indeed. First of all, the topic should be, of course, a priority for the region or for the local government or whatever type of level you are addressing. Then I would say you need to have evidence of the needs of the territory to improve this specific issue. You need to have evidence of the fact there are things that are not working. This is the reason why we are coming here, to find solutions to problems. So in fact, you need to have somehow a sort of a proof that the policymakers should be involved to face the weaknesses of the way they are dealing with the specific policy. And that's how you say, okay, thanks to the information that I get from the Spanish part and from Finland, from Bulgaria, we may find better solutions than if we just work with me and you. So this is the process that we believe works.
Okay, and let me just turn to, in a moment, by the way, if anybody does want to exercise their bottom muscles and run up the stairs to get it, you can actually stand there and pitch a fantastic idea online, or look into the eyes of our virtual audience and see if you can find your ideal partner in just a moment when I launch the Q&A. But I'm just going to come back to you two guys. I think it's important because we've had a lot of information on how to go about this. It's been very clear. Also what to avoid, some of the mistakes about the lack of eligibility, read the 100 Shades of Grey, and so on. But for you, can you just, in an absolute nutshell, top 3 challenges, top 3 most useful tools, top 3 recommendations? If you don't have 3, I'll take 1 of each. But what can you say that's handy and practical for this audience? Challenges, tools, recommendations. Even 1 of each.
Okay. Well, I would say it's one of the top challenges for developing the project proposals is to be sure that policies that you, and that's also a way to answer the question before. I mean, policies need to be, chosen policies need to be consistent with the program. Mm-hmm. That's key, I think. And from the lead partner perspective, that has to be true for all partners. So, like, really make sure that all partners' policies are consistent with the program, because that's, I mean, that's, it's key for the.
Okay. So that was very good recommendations. Any challenges, or you sort of felt you?
Well, that's a challenge. I mean,
a challenge in it,
because,
recommend it, of course. Yeah. Okay, clever. All right.
To make sure
very
that
good.
partners have the
I hear you. Thank you. Good point. Well made. Yes, Jane.
I think a challenge for me was to turn a good idea into a project that was actually aligned with the program. And also, here comes the recommendation as well, because I think it's very important to consider that you have to read the manual carefully, you have to listen to all the JS says. You can't do a project and then do 80% of what they want, and then you can do 20% differently because you think it's a better idea or it suits you better. You have to do it 100%, and then you have to look at your idea afterwards to see if you can see yourself in this. Otherwise, I think the recommendation will be to go somewhere else for funding, because you will never succeed and you cannot argue your way out of it unless you fulfill everything they want.
I think that's a very good additional point. And it comes back to Anne, again, you see it's these ladies, it comes back to Anne's comment in the beginning about this kind of discipline and rigour, and also the comment made by Michiel about strategy, planning, you were talking about detail, you know, and also some of the agility comes in the detail, but you've really got to go through with it. So just stick with it. It's very interesting. Otherwise, don't go for that kind of funding, because it's not going to fit and you'll just get annoyed. Okay, any other questions? Anything that we're getting on Slido? Anything? Yes, you have? Yes? Yippee.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm this Garrett that is being referred to. I'm here as the voice of the hundreds of people who are joining online. And the invitation you just posted, that's actually for after this session is over, right? So, before you go to the coffee break, if you feel that you have anything to pitch, if you're looking for project partners, contact Knowledge, come here in front of our cameras and pitch to the rest of Europe. But now back to the questions. Actually, quite some questions from our online audience came up. Specifically during the first part of Irena's talk, it's quite practical. When you talk about phase 2 of the project, both Dorothea Palenberg and Pasi Poikonen asked, is there a recommended percentage in relation to the overall budget? Maybe you can advise from the Bureau, or perhaps from experience in the approved project partners.
Yes. Phase two, really, what you have in the application form, what is described in the program manual, is what you get. So it does not really make sense to attach a certain percentage on it, but it is what you have to think of. How much time does it in reality need to monitor the implementation of the action plan? And the emphasis is on the monitor of the action plan. It's not to implement the action plan, but just to monitor. And that should not take too much time. On top of that, there are a few project meetings which will help the projects to exchange on how is it going with the monitoring of the action, of the implementation of the action plans. So you will have to consider a drastic drop in terms of activities between phase 1, where you do the exchange of experience, where you do the learning, where you do the policy improvement, and what happens afterwards.
Okay, and I like the focus on monitoring. Monitoring. Okay, yes, so we have another one, please.
Yeah, I have plenty. I have, for example, ESEC, or ESEC, is on Twitter a while back, and they talk to you, and we all talk a lot about addressing policy instruments, and they're actually wondering, that's quite abstract. Can you give us an example of what addressing a policy instrument means?
Yes, of course. So as I said, when we talk about policy instruments, we are talking about rules, laws, regulations, acts, financial instruments, things that regional, local, national authorities use to work on a specific regional development issue. When we say addressing a policy instrument, it means that we see that this specific law, this specific regulation, perhaps doesn't work so well in replying to the need of the territory. Perhaps the measures that are included do not respond, do not address really the specific problematics, not precisely the specific problematics that are on the ground. An example could be, I don't know, the ERDF operational program of Veneto region has a specific measure on entrepreneurship, but it remains very general. And in fact, we discovered that in Veneto region, there is a lot to do about socially excluded people, or about women above 50 years old that are jobless. So in fact, the idea is to say, okay, we have a territorial problem, we have an issue there for people that do not find a job or socially excluded. Can we do something to make sure that this operational program, this law, regulation, replies to this need? So thanks to the exchange of experience, I go to the UK, where they have a specific, in the same measure, I mean, they have an operational program, they have a measure entrepreneurship, and they have organized specific call for proposals for women above 50 years old that want to set up an enterprise. Et voilà, so I take this idea and I organize a similar call in Veneto region for my own operational program.
Just to hold a second on the audience we can't see, who are a little bit more active than the audience we can. Anybody have anything from in the room before our virtual audience ask more questions? No? Okay. Shall we? Yes, we did. I can't. For some reason, I'm struggling. The lady here. Yes. You could have actually called to me and then you wouldn't have had to have come all this way up the stairs because I was oblivious. I thought it was still there. Thank you. And then we'll take two more from online and then we can, if you have them, you said you had lots, and then we can slowly bring things to a close. Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, it's a very practical question for the people in Rotterdam for the next 2 days. You spoke about the national contact points and it would be good to meet them during meetings. Is there any way for us to know who those people are?
Please, if there are any national contact points, can you stand up? Hello. So we have Poland, we have the Netherlands, we have Romania, and I'm sorry, Spain.
Norway.
And Norway.
Yeah.
And Norway, Luxembourg. And for those who are not, yes, there should be France as well. And for those who are, yes, France is over there. Hello. For the contact, so we kindly invite you to perhaps go to the Interreg Europe networking table, where we can give you the names and the faces of these people so that you can actually catch them in the networking session. I also would like to take this opportunity to complete what Frank said just a few minutes ago. For the other contact points, for the other member states that are not present today, there is a specific section on our website that is called In Your Country, where you have all the reference, the contact details of your national contact point.
Okay. Can we take a last question?
Sure, I have a last one. This is by Anonymous on Slido, so it could be both in the room or outside, we don't know yet. And the question is, they want to kind of know what context they're in. I don't know if you have this knowledge available or we have to publish it on later, but what is the medium or average project budget in the proposals or that you see coming by?
It's in this context, without any specificities on what kind of activities will take place, how big is the partnership? I would say on a 3-year phase 1, 2 years phase 2, it could be between 1 and 2 million ERDF. And this, with this answer, you see how difficult it is to answer the actual question for this. We can only emphasize what we also write in the program manual, that the activities define your budget. So it's a bottom-up approach. You look what you want to do, what is necessary, what is within the scope of the program activities, and that defines the budget you have. I hope that helps at least a little.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to slowly call it a day unless there is one more. Yes, the gentleman here. Yep, you've just slid under the... She's going to throw it. Throw it. Go on. But go, there. Oh, good throw. Nice. Nice throw. Much better than my throw.
I'll continue standing up. Ivo Tartaglia from Italy. Eligibility. You told that 1/3 of the application were somehow not considered any further because of eligibility constraints. I would like to know if it's possible to know what are the main reasons for the ineligibility, whether it is a lack of the letter of support from a regional managing authority or any other thing that can help reducing this, because of course preparing a proposal is a huge investment, like coming here and also networking and so on, and it will be really helpful to know how to avoid this sort of first block. Thank you.
Tomorrow morning it's definitely there.
So, for what concerns the eligibility, it's true that the main reasons for non-eligibility of the applications were the mistakes made in the partner declarations and letters of support. So although these documents were provided with the application, there were mistakes in these documents. In particular, the letters of support, it's true. Mainly, the reason is that the information provided in the letter of support did not correspond to the information provided in the list of managing authorities of structural fund operational programs that is available on the Interreg Europe website. There were also, however, other reasons for ineligibility. For instance, the provision of these letters of support or partner declarations that were missing. There were mistakes in the financial figures, in the amount provided for the co-financing. There were even mistakes related to applicants forgetting to include the paper version of the lead partner confirmation, so of the summary of the project. So several reasons for this. Now, really, hopefully, with the new instructions provided in the program manual, which really go now into the detail of each of the eligibility criteria, many of these mistakes should be avoided. Even now, the templates for letters of support and partner declarations are in a writable PDF, so there should be no modifications of the text. And these documents should be uploaded directly in the online system, so that it is not possible to forget to upload this, because the system will send warning messages everywhere for you to remember this.
Okay. I'm going to park it because I know you said there are so many of you fantastic, I think you can see, and knowledgeable and friendly faces available over the course of the 2 days, that you will have ample time to ask questions. So I'd like to give a round of applause, please, to Federico and Jane and Elena and Katja. Thank you very much. May I ask you, you may all kindly take your seats, just so that I can close things here. Most importantly, let's do a quick hands up in the air and a Slido poll. So most importantly, who can honestly say they really have learnt something this afternoon? We started at the top level, we've gone into a great lot of detail. Who's learnt something? Can just be a little thing, something new. Who's been enlightened? Okay. So, at least half. And if we were to do a Slido poll for those online and for those here, would you say that you are enthused, motivated, or a bit better informed? Enthused, motivated, or a bit better informed? We see I've done something hard. I've done a yes, no. I know, I didn't stick to the planning. Did you learn something? 90? Great. Certainly didn't look like 95% in the room, so great. Thank you very much to the virtual audience as well. You've obviously been really listening. That's good. Okay, then hands up. Hands up who is enthused after this. Can you say you're enthusiastic? Do you feel motivated? It's a bit biased. Okay, who feels much better informed? And who feels truly ready to rock and roll? Not for the drinks, I mean actually for a project. Okay, well, I am now going to bring this content-rich day to a close. I think you've had information and tips and advice. You've had thoughts, you've had tweets. I think you've had a very comprehensive picture of it all. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our speakers for taking the time and trouble to be here today, especially I think those who came from Brussels this morning, and to have downloaded the contents of their brains. I'd like to thank Interreg Europe, especially the organising people who have been scurrying around behind the scenes, being especially industrious and disciplined. So thank you very much to all of those. Thank you also to Gerrit, who will now take over for the last part and for expertly managing all that is online. And finally, genuinely a very big thank you to you here in the room and for those of you online for joining us and for your contributions and for being so game to stamp your feet, wave your hands, stick your thumbs in the air and chuck that square microphone. It really is much appreciated and it does make my job easier. Just a couple of bits. Do be aware that the web stream sessions, the speaker presentations, so the actual PowerPoints, I saw some people photographing, but the actual PowerPoints will be online and photographs in the coming days. And you will also be sent an evaluation survey. I was about to say be kind, but actually forget being kind, just be honest. The more honest you are, the better the events are tailored for you and your needs. This event is just the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't need me to tell you, with the enthusiasm of the team here, there is support available to help you make these really meaningful cooperations going forwards. Please make use of it. I'm a bit biased from moderating events. I really do genuinely think this is what the EU does really well. It tries to put people and regions and countries in touch to share best practice and to build those friendships and relationships so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. So I think this has been a great first day. On that positive note, I wish all of the participants here a very warm goodbye. You're about to have 30 minutes of face-to-face time with your peers, and then at 5:30 you're going to be thrust a delightful cocktail in your hand, and then you can have more enthusiastic chat. For those of you online, you've got the lovely Gerrit, who is going to keep you entertained, I think, for a further half an hour. Now I'm going to take my leave. I bid you all very good well. Have a very, very good evening and a very good second day. Take care and good luck with all your future endeavours. I hope you'll be up here to talk about your projects the next time round. Thank you very much.